Well, guess what, everybody? We have found Nicole in the kitchen, and she's going to be preparing a really fun, easy recipe for you guys. Right, Nicole?
Oh, yes.
All right, take it over.
Well, I'm making mandazis. Americans call it beignets. So, I don't know what to say, so I'm going to tell you what I'm doing. What I'm doing here is I'm making this bowl warm because it's really cold. So this is just warm water. It's just warm water, and then I'll pour it out. And then now this is measured water. It's about 3/4 of a cup. And then I'll put in some yeast.
Is that a whole package?
Yes, whole thing of yeast, and then some sugar. I don't know how to measure it. Most people do like a half a cup of sugar, but I feel like that's a lot. So I just do like, what's that? Like a
half a handful.
Half a handful of sugar. Then you have to mix it up a little. Once this is mixed up, we'll leave it aside for like 5 minutes. Okay, so once it's mixed up well, then I'll just put it aside for maybe 5 minutes. Put it over there, and then get another bowl. And here we'll measure out about, I think 3 cups, maybe 3 cups of flour. This is all-purpose flour. We'll do 3 3/3 of a cup, I guess. And I'm not very good at measuring, so that's one. That's 2. Ooh!
That's about 3.5.
And then I'll just add a little bit more. Sometimes these things you just look at them with your eyes, but because it's a recipe that other people might follow, we'll tell them maybe 3 3/4. You'll see why when we're mixing it all out, you'll see why sometimes you might need more flour. Okay, and then I put in maybe a teaspoon of salt. Make sure it's a teaspoon. I just kind of measure with my eyes. And then some people usually put either cardamom or cinnamon, so I'll do maybe half a teaspoon of cardamoms.
And what do you get? That's cardamom?
Cardamom, what is it? Cardamom, ground cardamom.
Okay.
And then mix that up. Okay, so once you're done mixing, we'll set this aside. It's just the mixture, the flour mixture. Then we get the mixture that we had of the yeast. So we'll add, this is about half a cup of milk in it. Put it in there.
And what kind of milk did you use?
Well, we use oat milk for most things, so.
And that's okay.
Yes, I'm looking for a whisk, and I found it. So whisk it up, whisk it up, whisk it up, whisk it up. Then usually it's 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Okay. And then mix that up a little bit more. And then we're gonna break an egg in here. Break a leg, break an egg, break a leg, break an egg. Okay. And then we'll whisk that in there. It needs to be room temperature egg, so make sure you have removed the egg a few, maybe 20 or 30 minutes in advance. Okay, once this is good to go, we will add the flour and we will add it in bits so that it gets a nice texture. Okay, so So when you're adding the flour, you don't put it all at once. You just do bit by bit as you mix it up. It can be a bit of a challenge, so put it back down. Keep on mixing. Once you're done with the hand mixture, it starts getting heavy, so we'll now use the people who have the electric one. It's easier, but you can use the hand mixer. So we'll put in the flour, and then here goes.
Should it be that thick now? Yeah?
Well, yeah. So, if you have an electric mixer, it's usually easier. But what needs to happen is, I think that's a good consistency. And it needs to go down. The flour needs to be sticky, but it should not stick on your hand. So this one is still sticking on my hand, so I'll add more flour. And then I'll just add it as I'm doing that. Okay, so I've been adding some more flour, and now it's perfect. Because when I put this hand over here, it doesn't come out with any dough or butter or whatever. Yeah, so that's good. I'm just gonna try and get all of this out so that we don't waste any. Okay, so now all of the dough is out, and I'm just making sure that it doesn't stick to the surface. One thing that people could do, you could transfer this to another bowl, but because I don't want to dirtify my bowls, I'll just add some olive oil, because we're gonna leave it out. We're gonna leave it in the fridge for overnight. So I'm gonna put some oil on the side to make sure. Do you want to help me and put for me some of this olive oil on my hand?
Okay, I can do that.
Okay. Just a little bit there. Thank you. That helps.
Okay.
Give me one more round. Okay, well, this part is done, but I forgot one thing that I think is important. I forgot the butter. I had set it out, so I'm just gonna try and see how to set it in there, into the mix. I like how the dough is no longer sticking in my hand, but it's the oil helped. I can still feel the butter, so I'm still working it in there. Okay, so I'm just putting in the butter. I've been able to make sure it's all in there. And because the butter is in there and I put some oil in my hands, it doesn't stick. So that's what should happen. It should not stick to your hand. That's very important, because what will happen is we will need to put it down and cut it into pieces. So now I'll set it back in the bowl, and then I'll leave it overnight. So it should look something like this once you're done. And then you can set it out for maybe 1 or 2 hours, not in the fridge, but just on a countertop if you like. But I'm gonna set it out for 12 hours, I guess, overnight.
In the refrigerator or on the counter?
Oh, this one, when I do it overnight, you do it in the refrigerator. What is wrong with this? Anyway, so let's set it in the refrigerator, and then we'll get it and see what the next steps will be. Okay, so now this is the next day. Just remove the dough from the fridge, and it looks good. It's good because it's not sticky, so that's good. So what we need to do is kind of line it, and this part needs a lot of flour because of how we are going to separate it. So I just like doing this to the dough. It just makes me feel nice. But anyway, here we are now. I'm going to need a rolling pin. Oh, and before I forget, we have oil. This needs to be on. Let's see. This needs to be on until about maybe 325 degrees-ish.
And I'll throw in used organic high oleic sunflower oil, correct?
Yeah. Always put some flour on your rolling pin and then do the work. And so when you're rolling, it shouldn't be super thin. Okay. Okay, so once the dough is rolled out, now you cut. You cut it with whatever cutter you have. I don't have a fancy cutter, so I use a knife. And the sizes, I guess the sizes matter, so there you go. Okay, well, still cutting. Okay, so now we've cut it all up, and now it's time to put it in the. You kind of just place it in.
Good.
Okay.
So now you're getting ready to turn them?
Yes.
And I'm guessing you want them golden brown.
Yes.
All right. Ideally, how long should these be cooking?
Because we put it before the oil was hot enough. That's why it's taken like a whole minute. But ideally, it should be like 30 seconds on each side or 45 seconds on each side.
Okay. They look beautiful.
I think so too. All right. Now they're golden brown on both sides. We need a better spoon thing. What do you call it?
Well, that's a slotted spoon, but that's a pretty good one.
That can take out more than one at a time.
So you put them over on the paper towel because you want the oil the excess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, it's my understanding in Kenya, you would not put powdered sugar on these.
Oh, no.
No.
But we will put some powdered sugar.
Okay, so there they are.
Okay, so now that's all of the beignets. They are more than I thought they would be. So I've separated them because I'm going to have Jack taste some with powdered sugar on top. Sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle. Okay.
So we'll have some with powdered sugar and some without.
Yeah.
And what's the next step?
Tasting. Do you want to taste?
Sure.
Come and taste.
Okay, well, Nicole, here we go. My first homemade beignet. Okay. I'm not saying this just because you made it. This is really, really good.
Yay!
5 stars, thumbs up. Try her recipe for beignets. Not super sweet, just right.
Yay, perfect.